7 Stoic truths you should understand before marriage. Before you marry someone, you should understand something that most people discover only after the wedding. Marriage does not magically make you happier. It does not heal your insecurities. It does not complete the parts of you that you refuse to confront. And it certainly does not guarantee that two people who love each other will always understand each other. Marriage doesn't just reveal who you love, it reveals who you are. Your patience, your ego, your weaknesses, your habits, your ability to forgive, and your ability to remain kind when life stops being easy. That is why the Stoics have something important to teach anyone thinking about marriage. Because before you ask, "Do I love this person?" you should ask something much deeper. Do I have the character required to love this person responsibly? Here are 7 Stoic truths you should understand before marriage, and the 7th may change the way you think about choosing a partner entirely. Number 1, marriage will not complete you. A spouse is not supposed to fill the emptiness you refuse to confront. They cannot give you a sense of worth that you have never learned to build within yourself. They cannot permanently fix your loneliness, and they cannot carry the weight of every unresolved part of your life. If you enter marriage believing another person will finally make you whole, you are placing a responsibility on them that no human being can carry forever. Build yourself first. Learn to stand on your own. Know your values, know your weaknesses. Learn how to manage your emotions. Then enter marriage not as someone desperately searching for a person to save them, but as someone who is ready to build a life with another whole human being. A healthy marriage should add to your life. It should not be forced to become the reason your life has meaning. Number 2, love is a choice, not just a feeling. Feelings are powerful, but feelings change. Attraction changes, energy changes, life changes. There will be seasons when everything feels effortless, and there will be seasons when love requires patience. There will be stress, financial pressure, disagreements, exhaustion, misunderstandings, and moments when your emotions are not particularly interested in being romantic. That is when love becomes more than a feeling. It becomes a decision to remain honest, a decision to remain loyal, a decision to speak with kindness, a decision to listen when you would rather defend yourself, a decision to keep showing up when life becomes inconvenient. Real love is not proven only by how strongly you feel when everything is going well. It is revealed by how responsibly you behave when things become difficult. Number 3, you cannot control your partner. You cannot control their thoughts. You cannot control their moods. You cannot control their reactions. You cannot control every decision they make, and trying to do so will slowly turn love into control. The Stoic principle is simple. Focus on what belongs to you, your words, your actions, your character, your boundaries, your response, your choices. Your partner is still an individual human being. They have their own mind, their own emotions, their own responsibilities, and their own freedom. Peace begins when you stop trying to control what was never yours to control. This does not mean accepting disrespect. It means understanding the difference between a boundary and control. You can communicate, you can disagree, you can walk away from unhealthy behavior, but you cannot force another person to become who you want them to be. Choose your response and allow them to be responsible for theirs. Number 4, marriage will expose your character. This is one of the truths people underestimate most. When you live closely with someone for years, they will eventually see the parts of you that other people never see. Your impatience, your insecurity, your selfishness, your temper, your need to be right, your fear of rejection, your weaknesses. Marriage can become a mirror, and sometimes you won't like what you see, but don't resent the person holding up the mirror. If your partner reveals that you are impatient, work on your patience. If they reveal that you struggle to listen, learn to listen. If they reveal that your ego is stronger than you realized, work on your ego. The revelation is not necessarily the problem. What you do with the revelation is what matters. The right partner should not simply make you feel good about yourself. They should also challenge you to become better. Number 5, choose character over chemistry. Chemistry can be powerful. Attraction can be powerful. Someone can make your heart race. Someone can make you feel understood. Someone can make ordinary moments feel extraordinary. But marriage eventually asks a different question. Who are they when life becomes difficult? How do they behave when they're angry? How do they handle money? How do they treat people who cannot benefit them? Can they admit when they are wrong? Can they keep their word? Can they communicate without cruelty? Can they take responsibility? Because beauty changes, excitement settles, circumstances change, but character follows you through all of them. So before asking, do I love this person? Also ask, do I respect this person's character? Because chemistry can begin a relationship. Character is what helps sustain one. Number 6, you will have to surrender your ego. Every disagreement cannot become a battle you must win. Sometimes you will be right, and sometimes you will be wrong. Sometimes you will deserve an apology, and sometimes you will be the one who needs to give it. Marriage becomes exhausting when two people are constantly trying to prove who is superior. One person speaks, the other interrupts. One defends, the other attacks. One refuses to apologize, the other refuses to forgive. And eventually the relationship becomes less about understanding each other and more about winning. But what exactly are you winning? If you win the argument and lose the connection, what did you actually gain? Sometimes peace requires listening instead of defending yourself, apologizing instead of protecting your pride, understanding instead of attacking. A strong marriage does not require two people who never disagree. It requires two people who know how to disagree without destroying each other. Because love cannot survive for long when both people are constantly trying to defeat each other. And now, number 7, marriage is a shared responsibility, not a permanent rescue mission. Your partner cannot carry your entire emotional world. They cannot be responsible for your happiness every day. They cannot fix every financial problem. They cannot heal every wound from your past. And they cannot do your personal growth for you. A healthy marriage is not one person constantly rescuing another. It is two people taking responsibility for their own lives while supporting each other through the journey. That distinction matters. Choose someone who is willing to grow, not someone you constantly have to repair. Choose someone who takes responsibility, not someone who always needs someone else to blame. Choose someone who can look at their own weaknesses and say, I need to work on this. Because marriage doesn't require perfection. It requires responsibility. Two imperfect people can build something beautiful if both are willing to grow. But when one person is constantly growing, while the other constantly refuses to take responsibility, love alone may not be enough to carry the relationship. So before marriage, look beyond chemistry. Look beyond excitement. Look beyond the beautiful moments. Look at character. Look at responsibility. Look at emotional maturity. Look at how they treat people when they are angry. Look at how they handle disappointment. Look at whether they can apologize. Look at whether they can forgive. And perhaps most importantly, look at whether they are willing to grow. Because marriage is not simply choosing someone you want to spend your life with. It is choosing someone whose character you are willing to build a life alongside. And you must be willing to become that person for them too. So remember these 7 Stoic truths. Marriage will not complete you. Love is a choice, not just a feeling. You cannot control your partner. Marriage will expose your character. Choose character over chemistry. Surrender your ego, and remember, marriage is a shared responsibility, not a permanent rescue mission. Do not marry merely because you are in love. Marry when you have developed the wisdom to love responsibly. Because the question is not simply, have I found the right person? It is also, am I becoming the right person? And that may be the most important question you can ask before saying, I do. If you want more reflections on wisdom, discipline, relationships, self-mastery, and building a stronger life, subscribe to River Reflections. Because the person you become, material, will determine the life you build.